So it started a couple of years ago, actually more than 10 years ago, when I was thinking about industries that might have very gender specific impacts. And I thought of the mining industries and sort of extractive industries in general. And I figured there really wasn't a ton of work that tries to identify the causal effect of this industry on women. So that's how I started.
You went through 8 countries in Africa and 50,000 women. Can you just narrow that down, the 8 countries, the 50,000 women, and how you discovered that, and what your analysis was on the impact of gold mining on these gender roles?
I used data from them from the 80s until quite recently to understand how women are impacted by large-scale mining. So I compare women that live close to large-scale mines, gold mines in particular, to those that live further away. And I try to understand if the likelihood that women agree with these measures of acceptance of domestic violence, for example, change with the onset of mining. I do find that women who live close to mines are actually slightly less likely to accept domestic violence compared to women who live further away. So this is an impact that we attribute partly to the gold mining per se.
Mm-hmm. I'm also going through some of your research here. We say industrial mine opening is a mixed blessing for women. Can you explain that?
Of course. So first of all, mining, large-scale mining and small-scale mining for that matter, does not affect women and men in the same way. And when it affects women, it will affect women differently, right? In one paper, we explored heterogeneity on migrant households versus non-migrant households. Or it might be women who are having businesses working in the service sector that benefit versus some women who were farmers might see, increased competition over land, environmental degradation, and they might be losing out. So in this sense, we do call it a mixed blessing. I want to highlight that there really are opportunities that are generated for women within the large-scale mining industry or surrounding it, but it's not necessarily that everyone benefits from those.
And what's your overall takeaway from the gender roles in terms of how they benefit women in the mining environments, in terms of more mining meaning more opportunities for women, better, I think also in your research you say they have better access to healthcare, they can fight better for healthcare, infant mortality even is improved.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that?
In one study, I do find that infant mortality rates decrease locally in areas where there is this type of mining investment. You might wonder why that is. I want to point out that the infant mortality rates that we saw before these investments was really extremely high. So even averages like 15% is what I saw in the data. So this is, a couple, in the 80s and 90s before a lot of this investment happened. We do find that the mining investment very rapidly changes the local economy. So there's some agglomeration effect, more urbanization. There's more other types of employment than just maybe subsistence farming. These cities and villages get a bit more connected to the outside world and they have better access to healthcare. So this generates the reduction in infant mortality.
Mm-hmm. And what does it mean for a lot of women being in a mining environment but not getting hold of that gold? They don't have that gold in their hands.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's something that's unique to women, though. I feel like a lot of people might believe, locals who lived there beforehand, but also people migrating in, think that the mining opportunities are going to generate lots of gold, tangible gold and wealth for them. And it just doesn't, it's not going to be true for everyone. So, we have to think about policies on making it more equitable and share it with those who would serve it.